And obviously right now you're going through drills and training and 40 time and shuttles and all those kind of things. But you had an opportunity to do what now is actually even more important, and that is the Reese Senior Bowl. And the combine was announced, I believe, right before the Senior Bowl or right after. I can't remember the timeline. Was announced that there would be no in-person combine, which puts even more emphasis on the Senior Bowl. Let's kind of talk a little bit about that experience for you, Robert. You were a right tackle your entire career at Notre Dame. You played left tackle at IMG Academy, and then you're kind of there. And okay, you're playing guard first day, left and right guard, mostly left guard, and then you're playing center. What was that experience like for you overall? And then obviously, what was it like for you being able to move inside and play? I know you've kind of done some practice stuff inside, but really taking like live fire reps. What was it like for you moving inside and playing those two positions?
Yeah, I mean, just the Senior Bowl in itself was such a fun experience. Anytime you get to go play more football, it was a blast. So, and then having Banks and Ian, Dalen, Ade, Ben out there, like it was great to see those guys too, and just especially with Banks, getting to play a little bit next to Banks was awesome. As far as like sliding to those inside positions, I knew that I was gonna do it, and I went in with I actually had no intention of playing center because I just didn't feel practiced enough. I had never taken any reps at center. Like I've snapped a little bit on air, but we were in there. It was like the second practice, and there was kind of a spot there. No one really jumped up real quick, so I just jumped in, did it. I really liked it, and I told the coach, Lem Jean Pierre with the Dolphins, I was like, "Hey, I'm enjoying this. Let me keep playing some center." He's like, "All right, sounds good." So doing that was, I think, a huge help for me. A lot of teams that I interviewed with that week told me that asked about sliding inside and told me they enjoyed seeing me playing inside. So those things I think were extremely helpful. But ultimately, it was a lot of fun doing something new. After playing right tackle for 4 years was awesome. But getting a new challenge and I have to test myself a little bit more and learn a couple new techniques and how things change in the inside positions. I mean, that's really fun for me, just because I love learning new things when it comes to football, especially.
Well, I know you love to compete. I remember you did a very similar thing 4 years. Well, gosh, we were talking about this before the show, but I think it was 4.5 years ago when you were at the Nike opening, the finals out there. Very similar thing. Somebody step up a guard, somebody step up a center, and you hopped right in and took reps. I remember watching you battle with Marvin Wilson and those guys. So I'm sure those things don't go unnoticed by NFL offensive line coaches and scouts. So were you surprised how naturally, I say naturally, came to you? But I mean, look, I watched the practice clips. I watched, the all 22 practice clips. I was surprised. You tell me you hadn't practiced a whole lot. That surprises me because I thought outside of, I thought you looked smooth there. I thought you looked comfortable there. I just assumed that you'd been kind of practicing for that because, your ability, because this, Robert, snapping, stepping, and blocking all in one quick thing is not an easy thing to do.
No, and it wasn't. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's nothing too outside the realm of what I've always been doing. Things might happen a little bit faster on the inside. Your stance and pre-snap position might change a little bit, but at the end of the day, it just comes back to playing ball and like playing my style of ball, using my technique to my advantage and using my strength. So I knew when I got to the Senior Bowl, and then once I started sliding around, like I knew no matter where I was at, I was going to be able to excel because I just use my strengths to my ability.